So once we acknowledged that world literature is overwhelming, we thought, all right, what is the first experience a teacher has of the anthology? When they take the book into their hands, they open it, what do they see? And how can we make that less overwhelming and disorienting? Of course, the first thing they see is the table of contents. And the table of contents of these large anthologies is extremely overwhelming. It's a long list, pages after pages after pages, of authors, titles, a good number of which you've never heard of, perhaps. You don't even know how to pronounce. So what we decided to do is to place at strategic points thematic clusters, groups of texts around major themes of world literature, themes that cut across several of the volumes, that kind of weave in and out of many of the texts that we have in the anthology, and that provide anchors, so that when you open the anthology, what you see is not just one text after another, but you have thematic groupings, themes that you know you can latch onto, that give you a first entryway into world literature. For example, the theme of travel. So many of the texts of world literature revolve around people moving from one part of the world to another part of the world, experiencing cultural contact, contact that is sometimes hostile, sometimes friendly, but there's always something fascinating that happens at this moment of one culture encountering another. And many of the texts in this anthology themselves deal with that. And at the same time, the anthology itself provides cultural contact, putting one set of texts next to another set of texts. Courses in world literature proceed by way of contact, moving from one set of texts to another over the course of a lecture or seminar on world literature. So this question of cultural contact, we realized, was one of the primary ones in world literature, of all literature, but in particular world literature. So by placing a couple of thematic clusters like that, there's a spotlight. We can use those as a spotlight onto certain aspects of major texts, and as a kind of handle on world literature, thematic groupings that let you orient yourself a little bit in the sea of texts.